This podcast was previously recorded.
You're listening to the Odo Show podcast, your source for real cleaning talk and tips. Presented by Odoban, the original odor eliminator since 1980. Here are your hosts, Val and Dave.
So, welcome back to the Odo Show. This is episode 2. This is our Earth Day special. So again, we're going to cover some tips on you for how to clean a little greener, how to live a little greener. We're going to have some fun facts for you about Earth Day. So I'm Dave. I'm the technical director here at Odoban. I'm a chemist. I get to play in the lab with all those cleaning chemicals and figure out how to get rid of all those awful stains. Been here several years, been a chemist, well, longer than I want to talk about. I am married to my childhood sweetheart, Miss Carrie. Hey, honey. And we don't have any kids, but we've got one spoiled, rotten, big, furry dog. And this is my co-host, Val.
Hey, I'm Val, and professionally, I am a graphics designer here at Odoban. And at home, I am a mom. I am a wife. We have 2 beautiful girls, Sydney and Lauren. And we have a bunch of animals. We have 2 cats, 9 chickens, a tortoise, and a hermit crab that I've had for 6 years.
Where did you get? We don't have hermit crabs here.
No, I got it down in Florida.
He's imported. Okay.
Yeah, I got him in Florida, and somehow it's living in spite of me.
The next thing we want to talk about here is some fun facts about Earth Day. You know, everybody likes to go out and play trivia. It's Earth Day week. You probably have some answers coming up for trivia here, so we're going to help you out.
Yeah, we're going to take care of it.
Now, Earth Day was started in 1970 by a senator named Gaylord Nelson. And he started this movement because the environment at that time in the late 60s was in pretty bad shape. There weren't any regulations. Everything was dirty and smoggy. I mean, you've seen those pictures in L.A., right? When it's all brown and nasty back then.
Yeah, I was a kid at the time, and I do remember sitting in front of the TV, and it was color.
Oh, okay. You were ahead of the curve.
I was. But yeah, I do remember that vividly, to this day. And we've come a long way since then, but we've still got a long way to go.
We have. Now, that first year, over 20 million people came out into the streets to demonstrate and to celebrate Earth Day and prove that there was a real need for this movement to help the environment. And it actually got so much attention that the U.S. government later that year founded the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. Yep. And a lot of the work that they've done is the reason we've got such clean water and clean air here still today. Now, you notice 1970, that means next year is the 50th anniversary. So that's another little tidbit for you. Yeah.
And in 1990, here in the U.S., it was such a big movement that it wound up becoming global. And so now it is actually celebrated worldwide.
Yeah, but internationally they call it International Mother Earth Day. I don't know if you know that. Yeah, it's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now, Odoban has always been, sustainability has been an important thing for us here. We think about these things as we're developing products. I don't know if you've noticed in some of our intro videos, some of our promo videos, we've got a solar array outside, big solar panel field. Now, it's a 150 kilowatt solar array. It's grid tied. Now, we put that up in 2011, and on the average year, we generate somewhere just under 400,000 kilowatt hours of power that offsets what we use here in manufacturing. It's a pretty neat setup.
Wow, that is a lot of energy.
It's a lot of juice.
Yeah. Well, I know in the last couple of years, you guys have really worked hard at trying to reduce the wastewater that's produced here.
Yeah, that's true. Making cleaning chemicals is a pretty water-intensive process. We use a lot of water here. And so every time we wash out a line, we switch from one product to the next on our manufacturing stuff, we have wash water. And so we've looked at ways to reduce that, to reuse it, to put it into other products where it makes sense. And not only does that reduce what we're sending downstream to the treatment facility, it reduces how much water we use in the facility. So it's something we put a lot of work into and made a lot of strides on.
Right. And it's not just a matter of the big things like the solar panels that we have. We as a company try to do things even on smaller scales every day. Yeah. And we take into consideration, what goes into our future products and how it's going to impact the environment. So we try to make it as safe as possible and yet still effective.
Yep. I know it's important to me to be looking at this environmental thing because I'm always outside. I'm mountain biking. I go hiking a lot. I'm a boat guy. We're always out cruising in the boat and fishing. And So taking care of that's really something that's near and dear to me. And the interesting thing is, like you were saying, you can make these small changes.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go nuts with it. You don't have to be an environmental activist. You make some small changes along the way, and you can really better things and not, lose your ability to clean your house.
That's right. And that's something that's very important to me, because if the health of the environment affects the health of all living things on this planet. So when you make positive choices on a daily basis and it becomes habit after a while, then you're actually helping to ensure a better future for our planet.
Absolutely. Now, one of the first things you can do is look at what you're cleaning with. If you're using vinegar and water, that's great, but there's a whole lot of cleaning options out there where you can use real products, get real work done, and not have to resort to having things that are unclean.
Right. It really does make a big difference.
One of the first things you can do, the easiest things, is to use concentrated products. If you're buying a gallon of concentrate, it means we can ship something this big instead of buying 132 quarts of something that takes up a lot of space. Now, ready-to-use products have their place, but buying concentrated products means we use less diesel delivering everything to the stores. So it's actually a really helpful environmental thing.
Less fossil fuels are wasted.
Absolutely.
Right.
Now, the other thing you can do is when you're buying those concentrated products, make sure and look for your green certifications. Now, there's a lot of those out there in the marketplace.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them are actually started by the companies selling the products, which is never great. If you're looking at green certifications, you want to look for stuff that's third party, that's researched, things where they actually test the chemicals for safety, and that they test that the products they're making actually work. Now, we work with the U.S. EPA Safer Choice Program and have since they started years ago.
It's a great program.
It is. We also do a lot of work with Green Seal. Now, that's an independent nonprofit that's actually more focused on industrial and institutional chemicals, but they come in every year. They audit us. We have to prove to them that the chemicals we're using, we have to prove our products work. So next time you're shopping and you want real cleaning products that do the job and are still environmentally preferable, look for those green certifications. Safer Choice, Green Seal. There's some other good ones out there.
Yeah. And speaking of some other good ones, there's some other good ways that you can take care of, being a little bit more earth friendly, is to declutter and donate.
Absolutely.
It's like spring cleaning. Now's a great time. Go through your closets, go through your house, find those things that you don't really use anymore. You've just gotten used to looking at, but they don't really serve any more purposes. Well, they can for somebody else. And that actually helps some really great programs in the community. But, and also please, please, please recycle. That makes a big difference in our environment as well. Check with your local government and find out what can be recycled in your area. And that will help us to get more of the plastics back in that we can reuse that way.
Absolutely. We do a lot of work to reduce the amount of plastic we're using in our packaging and to make sure the packaging we're putting out there is recyclable. And so we really rely on you guys to sort of complete that loop and help us get that plastic out of the environment and back into circulation where we can reuse it.
That's
you're talking about decluttering the house. Something else that you can always do. You hear this, change your HVAC settings, your AC settings, and set it to 2 degrees colder in the winter or 2 degrees warmer in the summer.
Right.
So you use less energy. And that helps the environment, but it also helps your pocketbook. You pay a little bit lower bills. Something else along that same lines is if you've got an HVAC system, have it cleaned, have it inspected, make sure it's running at peak efficiency. You clean out your ducts, you get all that junk out of the duct.
Declutter the ducts.
Declutter the ducts. Suddenly it cools a lot better, it heats a lot better, and you're going to save money, you're going to burn less energy, and that's better for everybody around the way.
Absolutely.
And it occurs to me, all these tips we're given, this whole, use the concentrated cleaners, use the, fix your AC system,
right.
Look for the certifications. All of this is really about just being less wasteful, right? So you're just being a little more
aware of the environment.
Be a little more aware of what you're using
and what you're doing, and
everything works out better. So we hope some of these tips have kind of helped you guys. Efficiency equals environmentalism,
yes.
And if you waste less, you spend less, and it's great for everybody. All right, guys. Well, we've had a blast hanging out with you today. So until next time, I'm Dave.
And I'm Val.
Make life fresh.
Thanks for listening to The Odo Show, presented by Autobahn. If you've enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review and subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. Until next time, make life fresh.